Welcome to Do This, Not That, the podcast for marketers. We share quick tips, things you can do right now, and then we add a little bit of chaos at the end of every episode. We also keep it short, like this intro. Let's check it out. We are back for Ask Us Anything from the Do This, Not That podcast. And this is the podcast where we answer ridiculous questions and work questions. We try to answer one of each. And if you want to submit a question, just go to jschwedelson.com. There's a button that says podcast. Another one says Ask Us Anything. And that's where we get these wild questions. So let's do the work question first. We got a question from William in brackets Bill from Atlanta, Georgia. So before we get to your question, William in brackets Bill, I mean, do you walk around? Is that what you say? William in brackets Bill? But I never understand how he got there. You know, like my son's name is Andrew. We call him Drew. If I want to annoy him, I call him Andy. Like, how are our names not like our names? Like, I'm not even going to go with Richard because this is a family-friendly show. But I know this woman named Margaret, and she tells everyone to call her Peggy. Like, I don't know. Like, how did this happen? Like, for me, it's annoying the opposite because my name is Jay, and people's like, oh, so your real name's Jason. I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's Jay. Why is that annoying? What am I talking about? I don't know. All right, William in brackets Bill, what do you got? Jay, we have this offer that we think is really awesome. We've sent it out to our internal database. It hasn't done well. We've tried on different social platforms. It hasn't done well, but we think it's really great. What are we missing? Seriously? What you're missing is your offer's not great. Okay. Just because you think it's great doesn't mean it's great. You have to test it. All right. And good move testing it to your internal database because that should be the database that performs the best. There's a simple rule that I live by with any offer. When we're working with any client of any kind, business, consumer, you name it. And they'll come to us and say, hey, this thing's not doing well. You know, can you help us make it do better? Okay. And I'm like, oh, it's not doing well. You want me to help you make it do better? And I always ask, one question, which is, okay, so right now I'm making this up. Let's say their big thing was, the click-through rate on something, right? Their click-through rate right now is, 3%, right? If I said to them, what I normally say to them is this: if we increase your performance by 100%, we get that to 6% click-through rate. Or if it's their conversion rate they're only converting on 5% of the people to their landing page. If I get that to 10% of the people on their landing page, literally 100% increase. Whatever your offer is that you think is not doing well, the number one question that you always have to ask yourself is, if we increase the performance by 100%, is that then deemed to be good? Will you then say, this is a winner? Now, why do you need to ask yourself that question? Why is that always my number one question? Because when you have something that's not performing really that well, the odds of you being able to take that thing that's not performing well and adjust some creative, adjust a little bit of copy, adjust the timing, adjust the social platform or whatever, and you to get more than 100% increase on performance, the odds of that happening are almost zero, right? You might be able to increase it 20, 30%, 40%, whatever, but increasing something that's not performing well 100% is really hard. And if 100% improvement is not actually going to get you to where it needs to be in terms of performance, then you are wasting your time with that offer. You need to go back to the drawing board, right? Just because you think an offer is great doesn't mean it's great. You got to test it. Okay. And when the offer is not doing well, it's not, oh, let's throw more money at it, right? Because that's going to get it to do well. When something is not good, it's not good. It doesn't need to exist. You can do better. So this idea of the 100% rule that you want to ask yourself is really important, because you're not going to optimize your way to better than 100% improvement on something that is not performing particularly well. So yeah, that's my answer on the offer stuff. Before we get to the ridiculous question, I want you to know this podcast is sponsored by CallRail. And you're like, CallRail? I don't need to make phone calls. They gave me ad copy. I'm not reading the ad copy because I want to tell you something. CallRail is about attribution, and I'm giving you an offer that you could try it for free. They help over 220,000 businesses actually track their attribution. Everyone does last click attribution, which is trash. Tracking stuff from your forms on your website, calls that are coming in, business, consumer, does not matter. If you've never checked out CallRail, go to callrail.com/do this. It's a free trial. Callrail.com/do this. It is awesome for attribution tracking, all of that. All right, so let's get into the ridiculous portion of this podcast. So the funniest thing about the form on my website, jschwedelson.com, where people submit questions, is that people submit a lot of dating advice questions. I did an episode a few weeks ago when I gave some dating advice based on questions that came in, and then we got inundated with more. And the weird part is, so my team gathered another like 5 or 6 of these random dating advice questions, which I will answer. I've not seen them yet. The weird thing is that I am clueless. You should not listen to me. I know nothing about dating. I've never even opened the dating app. Thank God. I've been married for over 22 years to the greatest person of all time. And I'm an old nerd. But you want my answers on your questions, I will give them to you, but it is absolutely based in no good information. So here we go. All right. So we're not going to be from any one person. We got these a bunch of different people, and I'm going to answer them really quick. And here we go, reading them now. Here we go. I said, here we go 6 times. Great. All right. First one. Is it weird if I Venmo request someone after a bad date? That is amazing. I have no idea if that's weird. I just hope you do it, and then I want to hear about it, because that is awesome. I mean, like, what is that? How does that go down? Oh, that was a horrible day. I'm going to tell the person that really wasn't that much fun. I want to get my money. I mean, you probably shouldn't do it, but please do it and then tell me what happens. Okay. Next one. How soon is too soon to go on vacation together? I screwed this up when I was younger. Okay. I was dating somebody for not that long. We went on a vacation together, and it was horrendous because I was more into the person than they were into me. And by day 2, it was like, oh no, we're sharing a room. It was super awkward. It was horrendous. Okay. So my advice there is, if you want to go on a one night, staycation with somebody that you're early on with, I'm pro. But a multi-night thing, I think you got to be in it for a while. That's where I land on that. All right. Jay, how do I know if I'm the only one they're talking to? So, like, if you need to ask that question to yourself, then you're in a bad situation, in my opinion. Meaning, like, if you think the person that you're hanging out with could also be talking to somebody else, that means they're not that into you, and you're nervous about it. I don't like that. So I think that's a red flag. If you have to ask yourself, that's not good. That's not good. So I don't know how long or whatever, but don't get out of that. All right. Next one. Is it weird to ask someone what they're looking for on date 1? 100%. That is total weirdness. Do not do that. You cannot be on date 1. You're like 45 minutes into the date, and you're like, oh, I like this person. I'm going to now ask them what they're looking for in a long-term relationship. If someone did that to me, I would run away. I'd be like, yo, I barely ate my appetizer. I can't give you my outlook on the rest of life. That's weird. That is a red flag. That person's probably scary. I don't know. I don't like it. All right. Last one. Jay, is it okay to Google someone before the first date? Yeah. Hello. You have to do that. Unless you're like going on a date with someone you know. Okay, fine. But if you're being set up, or I don't even know if you go on a dating app, date somebody or whatever. Listen, I was watching Netflix last night, and all of the top shows are true crime. Every single one. You need to Google somebody, or you're going to wind up on Netflix in a true crime story, because there's a lot of weird human beings out there, and you need to find out if you're about to go on a date with somebody that's going to be a true crime story. By the way, the true crime things are wild. These shows are wild. There's so many of them. It's just, and it's just so sad and so terrible. And I don't know why they're so popular. I watch them. That's why they're so popular. I don't know. Anyway, listen, you would be awesome if you go to jschwedelson.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a button that says partner. I want to collab with your company. I want to promote your stuff. My agency, we work with business, consumer, you name it, big brands, medium-sized brands. We do all sorts of consulting and media buying and net new and all sorts of stuff. Hit me up, jschwedelson.com. You rock. We'll see you at the next one. Later. Wait, the party is not over. Go to jschwedelson.com because I want to do stuff with you. I want to partner with you. When you click on the button Partner with Jay, you let me know what you got going on. Work with my agency, work with me directly, get access to all of my free resources at jschwedelson.com. And I got a book coming out this April. It's called Stupider People Have Done It, and all of the net proceeds are going to the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Go on Amazon, buy Stupider People Have Done It. That way you can help kick cancer's butt with me. And if this podcast wasn't the worst podcast you've ever listened to, it might have been, leave it a review, follow the show. You are awesome. Go out there and crush it.